It was the one thing everyone wanted to avoid. After a day of celebration, the atmosphere dramatically changed and chaos broke out. When a big screen showing the game to thousands of fans packed into Piccadilly Gardens failed, it triggered ugly scenes. You can see here a police officer is tripped up and kicked while he lies on the ground. Manchester residents were also caught in the middle.
Last night, a couple of hours after the match finished, there were a few thousand people on our road. About 10, 15 police vans turned up and the riot police came out to really try and face down a crowd that were moving up the street towards the police, throwing rocks and stones and bottles. A police van window got smashed in. The police at that point got back in their vans and retreated up the street and disappeared.
This is Newton Street. Rangers fans came running down here from Piccadilly Gardens, and you can see here outside the police museum, they certainly left their mark.
I can understand why the Rangers fans who came all the way down here were disappointed, to say the least, to suddenly see the screen go blank. I don't think that justifies their response. But at 8 o'clock in the morning, there were people lying around here drunk before the match. So drink was clearly a problem. There were people walking around with big crates of beer on their shoulders. The police didn't seem to be stopping it. That surely must have contributed to it. But it was a minority. But a minority of 100,000 fans is still a lot of fans.
This is Natalie's car, or what's left of it.
Last night I parked it up. I had been over in Chester in court all day. I'm trained to be a barrister. And I drove it home, parked it in its normal car parking space outside the apartments. And something made me go and look at it. And I did, and it was no longer in its parking bay, it was across the other side of the road with every window caved in and supporters jumping all over it, holding banners, taking photos, and they just proceeded to jump over it, kick it. They were running up to it with their fists, hitting it. There's bottles inside, they've taken everything that's inside. They were all Rangers fans, men and women, ranging from 15 to 50 from what I could see. Not one Rangers fan stopped to help me or stopped to say, oh my God, what's happened? They just took photos of it and held their banners across it and thought it was amazing what had happened. So no, I've got no respect for them whatsoever. They've got no respect for this city. It was opened up for their pleasure. We didn't have to do this. We didn't have to put the screens on, and they have absolutely ransacked not only my car but all the surroundings, and it is appalling.
Today, the council and police found themselves on the defensive.
Last night was unprecedented, and I believe that it's the biggest movement of people for an event of this sort ever, certainly the biggest in this country. I think actually what it showed is that our ability to plan for that and to be able to deal with that, I'm not sure that there's anywhere else could have managed it any better.
There was quite a severe level of violence directed at my officers, and I think we dealt with that in a proportionate way. I was really disappointed with the fact that we had some outbreaks of disorder last night, but I really don't want it to detract from the fact that, actually we had over 100,000 people in Manchester yesterday, the vast majority of whom were well behaved and had a great time.
The clean-up operation began early this morning. It was a massive job. All this begs the question, was it worth it?
We've had worse things that happened to the city in the past. That's not put us off doing what we need to do to make Manchester a world-class city. We're not going to let this put us off either.
It shouldn't take too long to get Manchester looking like normal again, but piecing together what went wrong and why could take a lot longer. David Henry, Channel M News.